what did the film tell you about fourth quarter?
That it was all stuff that we could control. We were up 24 points, 17 in the fourth quarter. It was 7 minutes to go, and then we just it's like against a good team like that, you can't relax for a minute. And they hit two threes. They scored, and they got two threes, and they got an and one. Gasol got the and one, and they hit two threes, and that kind of got them going. And while we were at a high level for the whole night, and they were on their way up, and they just went to another level over top of us, and we should have matched. But just that minute and a half, not even probably a minute and a half, but 30, 45 seconds where we just relaxed, and they took control of the momentum. And when they cut the lead, felt like we're trying to get it all back at once instead of just being patient, relaxing, and hitting the reads and hitting the passes and shots we were making in the first three quarters. So it's all stuff we control. It wasn't like we got blitzed all night. We were doing the blitzing, and we relaxed just for a quick second. Being up by so much, so that's a learning experience that we always got to keep the foot on the pedal. And I thought we played a great game up until that point. But it's a learning experience. I feel like we're right there.
Draymond said play basically the whole fourth was kind of just
Yeah.
in the corner, and you guys have used him as a weapon. Did you see that on film?
Yeah, we should have. We should have. Coach came and talked about it today. We should have. And Clay, good thing about Clay is like he didn't really think that. He just felt like he was moving. He was moving. He just didn't get the ball. But it's not like we iced him out. We didn't call plays for him. He wasn't upset. He didn't get the ball. It's just that observation as we were watching the game, as the game kind of unfolded, that he had a small guy on him, a guy that really couldn't guard him with his movement. We should have utilized him a little bit more. That's the good thing about having so many weapons on the perimeter. So it's all a learning experience. I'm glad it's happening now, much less than rather than later on in the season and in the playoffs. But we learned a lot from it. Like I said, we played a good game up until that point.
You talked about this a little bit last night, but obviously coming over to a new team, you've been in the same place 9 years.
Yeah.
So the adjustment to a new team, are you finding it that at certain times it is a bit of a tough challenge?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a tough challenge. I mean, for me, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm still figuring out. My leadership qualities are different from maybe other guys, and I'm still trying to figure out, all right, who's the guy I should talk to at this point. What's his vibe like? What's his personality like around this time? So we're so used to being up a lot, and like when we played back and forth games, we played probably 4 or 5 of those throughout this season so far, where it's like been a slugfest from the start of the game up until the end. Last night wasn't one of those, but we played games, Atlanta, New Orleans twice. I know they're teams with records not as good as the other teams, but it's still a game that you have to play. And so me as a leader, my leadership qualities is trying to always encourage and always being there for guys. And sometimes I'm still trying to figure out in which ways do I need to speak up, which ways do I need to lead by example. And that's just a part of being around a different group of guys, and it's still being fairly early in the season. But when we're in tight games throughout the whole game, I feel like our energy level and our focus level, the discipline of our team is right where it needs to be. So that's a good sign.
In Oklahoma City, there's often isolation calls waiting for you. So
Yeah.
it seems like a lot of times they kind of run the other way. So those habits you kind of have to break and kind of remind yourself.
No, I mean I know how to play. I know how to move. When coach calls the play, I just run the play. So if he calls for me to get in the pick and roll, I'm gonna get in the pick and roll. He wants me to ISO, I'm gonna ISO. If I'm gonna move around, I'm gonna move around. I know how to play. It's not that I'm just like restricted. But yeah, I mean, our offense has been good throughout the whole season. There's certain times throughout the game where we get a little stagnant, but when you have guys that move around so much and you have guys that can ISO, it's kind of hard to figure out, all right, what do we need to do? How's the game flowing? Do we need more ISOs? Do we need to run more movement stuff? So it's a good problem to have, but sometimes you get lost in the middle on doing the balance between the both.
Your conversation with Draymond at the end of regulation got some attention, but do you appreciate when a guy is willing to come up to you after timeout and talk to you, even if he's emotional about something, about how he feels with the situation?
Yeah, he's an emotional guy. It wasn't an argument at all. It wasn't a disagreement, I felt like Draymond was emotional and something was bothering him, and he came and talked to me. He always can talk to me, and I'm like, I didn't take it personal that he was used a loud tone. That's just how he is. and but it wasn't a disagreement or it wasn't a fight. It was more so he was voicing on how he felt the game should have been going, and I agreed with him. And I had his back, and just told him to move on. The next play. But it's a long year, man. That stuff's gonna happen.
What was kind of the verdict on what would have been the proper play there? Just like you, Steph, pick and roll?
Yeah, Steph should have set the screen on me, and we should have played. Got him, put some pressure on the rim maybe, and got 2 on the ball, and just kind of moved the defense a little bit. But that was on me. I felt like I had a matchup that I liked, and Steph should have I should have let Steph set the screen for me and go from there. But yeah, it's like I said, it's a learning experience. We get better from it. We move on. No hard feelings. None of that stuff. We move on.
Now, if you had a teammate like Draymond, and some guys, they may have a little issue, but they'll keep it inside, won't say anything. Draymond just talks about it. He puts it out there on the table. Is that a good thing, you think?
Yeah. I've had teammates like that before, and that's a good thing, especially coming from, an all-star, a guy that's been is a huge part of the organization, a part of the franchise, and that's what you need. You need that. You need someone to just be real and just let us know that look. We're still getting better. We're not where we want to be. We made some mistakes, but at the same time, he's still encouraging, and still positive, and still has his teammates back. So, it's definitely good, man. The game could be, it could be stressful if you let it, but if you're around a bunch of guys that care, I'd rather have guys that care than that doesn't care at all, and doesn't matter if we win or lose. You know what I mean? So, it's good that he comes out and voices his opinion and is very passionate about it.
Do you think guys listen better when you lose? Because, kind of the hit last night was like, when you keep winning, you kind of tune out the little things sometimes.
Yeah. Well, winning masks a lot of problems, any team would say that. I'm not saying we got a bunch of problems and we win and but, basketball, has a good way of, teaching you a lesson. And I think last night was a perfect lesson that you got to always keep your foot on the gas, especially against great teams, We seen that against Toronto when we slipped up. We had to start the game off 28-4, and we relaxed for a second, and they got back into the game. We seen that against Memphis last night. Cleveland, up 14, like games we were in control, and we were playing great basketball, and we let the game slip because we just relaxed just a bit because we're so talented and we feel like, all right, we got this lead. We were doing something right. We just relaxed for a couple seconds, couple minutes, and they take the momentum back. So it's a great learning experience, man. When we get up, everybody staying conscious of, all right, let's keep our foot on the pedal. Let's get this thing over with, because in 2-3 more minutes, this team is going to have no more life. We up 16, 18 points. We pushed to 24 with 5 minutes to go. That team is, maybe they making subs, so it's great, like I said, great learning experience. I feel like we need this. I feel like we need to keep growing and figuring ourselves out, and rather now than later.